Coronation Street's Nathan Curtis was left attacked in Wednesday's dramatic installment of the ITV soap, and fans think his assailant has an ulterior motive. Coronation Street unmasked convicted sex offender Nathan Curtis attacker in Friday night's installment of the ITV soap, and fans are convinced it spells doom for one couple. Shona Platt, played by Julia Goulding, and Sarah Barlow, Teen O'Brien, were convinced that David Platt, Jack P. Shepherd, was the culprit after his jeans had red stains on them resembling blood. The tracking app on his phone showed he had been at the scene of the crime when the man who groomed his niece was attacked. When confronted with it, he confessed he had been there but merely witnessed the attack. This then pointed the finger of suspicion on Daniel Osborne, Rob Mallard, who had run-ins with Nathan since his return to the area. However, the attacker was ultimately unmasked as Gary Windus, Mikey North, who was forced to confess when confronted on the issue by Sarah. Determined to protect him, Sarah went to the hospital and confronted Nathan, offering him £2,000 to drop the charges and leave town. A smug Nathan was having none of it and demanded £10,000, threatening to tell the police she was blackmailing him. A guilty Gary offered to pay the sex offender off but warned Sarah that his wife Maria, Samia Longchambon, must never find out. As his gesture caused tensions between Sarah and her daughter Bethany, Lucy Fallon, fans were convinced that this sparked the beginning of an affair for Gary and Sarah. His huge gesture convinced fans that he and Sarah would be succumbing to passion and starting an affair, and they took to X, formerly known as Twitter, to share their theory. Susie wrote, "Why is Gary hanging out with Sarah after almost splitting up with Maria over her? #CRlME." David added, "Gary keeping his options open with Sarah, he got chucked out last week. #CRlME." Another asked, "Why isn't he with Sarah? Much better fit than whiny Maria." Jack Bend, "Our Maria going to wipe the floor with lying deceitful Gary and Sarah. #CRlME." Sarah and Gary have grown close recently and have shared several private moments, so an affair isn't inconceivable, but viewers will have to wait and see if that is where the story is going. Elsewhere in the episode, Toya Habib, Georgia Taylor, begged her sister Leanne Battersby not to go on a retreat but to no avail. In her absence, her stepson Simon Barlow, Alex Bain, got blind drunk and threw up in a taxi and did a runner. Kevin Webster, Michael Lavelle, found something incredibly worrying when he scanned the Weatherfield County chat forum on his son's laptop. Paul Foreman, Peter Ash, had his last supper before being fitted with a feeding tube as his motor neurone disease took further hold.